In this review, I'm going to take a look at this Kenwood. This is a marine receiver. It's a model KMR 700u. There is the main unit. This is actually a modular unit, unlike many receivers that you might have been familiar with, as well as other units that Kenwood has in the marine lineup. This is kind of like a Clarion, like a CMD7, CMD6, CMD8 they're up to now. You can see it's got the single DIN chassis located from the side profile, and you can see it gets a little bit bigger with a watertight gasket just like the Clarion has, and in the front you have an oversized faceplate, as you can see. And again, kind of like the Clarion, and I'm sorry to keep talking about Clarion, but Clarion had this way before anybody else, including Kenwood. Now this unit here has a dock for your iPod. It comes with this little felt case. Also, if you were wondering what happens when you're slamming your boat against the waves on your bow, that's how that works. This closes up. This unit does not have a CD drive, does not have an MP3 player upon itself. What it does offer is that this unit is designed for a system which can actually facilitate something pretty well, because the hideaway unit that gets mounted separately, most likely in a cabin or behind the helm under the dash someplace, because this unit here is no way near as watertight as the main receiver there is. I'm going to show you of that. And the sure proof of that, if I can find it, is the hardware. You can see you got stainless steel hardware for the main head unit right there, and you have black regular zinc type of screws for this unit, as well as steel brackets. So that tells you, and you might not want to put that any place that might get wet or moist or humid, just too much humidity. All those kinds of things, not going to be a good thing for this here piece right here. So know that that's something right there in and of itself we're talking about. Now this unit here, like I said, is not a CD player, but the person who's going to purchase this unit most likely is not going to care about it. What it does have is an AM/FM tuner built into it. You can utilize this with your iPod or iPhone, as I showed previously, and also you can connect Sirius satellite radio right to it directly through the expansion plug, which is again on the hideaway unit, like so. Right there is going to be for your Sirius, not the Sirius XM. This model's been out for a little bit right now, so the Sirius SCC1 would be the one and only piece that you would need. You don't need the I forget what it's called, the KCA 50. It'll come to me. There's a hub that you use for a lot of Kenwood car stereos. You don't need that for this unit. Just the SCC1 and you're good to go. Over here is a plug for a remote control, a template, so if you have to make a cutout. This brain boasts 3 sets of preamp outputs, front, rear, and sub, and as well as an auxiliary input. So if you wanted to feed audio from an external source, including a CD type of player, if that's what you got going on, if you have a DVD in your boat, and you could tie that audio into this unit. This unit also has a very cool feature. If you utilize the auxiliary feature that this unit does offer, it has a 2-zone capability, so that way this can give you, say, one source for your front, left and right, and you could have a separate zone going on for the rear, left and right. So you can feed that DVD signal a couple different ways, and that's a very cool and unique feature because I've never seen that on any other marine unit. As far as the hardware and cables, this here is the typical, I'm just going to get real close here, sharpen this up a little bit. Typical 13-pin Kenwood bus cable, CD changer cable, data cable I call it, whatever you want to call it. It's about 6 feet in length. I'm guessing it's about 6 feet. And that cable is designed to be connected from the hideaway unit to the main source unit. But if you had to extend it, you certainly can. You can get up to a 20-foot cable. They're everywhere. Amazon, eBay, my site, anybody who sells the stuff. And of course you're going to have this main cable, which is going to give you your 4 speakers, power, ground, remote turn on. This is a proprietary plug for Kenwood. It's not like the standard Kenwood cable that you would find in the 16-pin car stereo, so get that out of your head. Now, since this wouldn't be one of my reviews unless I get super technical, right? So the oversized size of the face as far as the height is concerned, I want you to see this. This here is about 3 7/16 as far as height is concerned. So that's what you're going to need for your overall cutout. On the width side, you got 7 9/16, and the part that it protrudes, I don't know why you would need to know this, but it's 1 1/4 inches. Now, this here, where the actual unit gets mounted into the boat itself, I want to show you what that's all about. You got about 5 1/4 as far as your depth. Your width, you got 7 1/16. 5 1/4 we did. And you got, we'll call it 2 inches. We don't have to get too serious about the height on it. So that's that. Now I want to show you the rest. I'm just going to show you what it looks like if you put your media device like my iPhone into this unit. I forgot to mention that there is this little plastic cover so you can actually put your phone in there like so. Looks kind of like that, if you care. And here you have a USB port, so you can utilize that for your non-Apple products. But we're with the Apple products, so we're gonna put up the product right in there, like that. So stick that guy right in there. Not a whole lot of extra room, but who needs it? Now there you go. So let's get a look. Now take note that I'm shooting this with fluorescent lights here in this warehouse. The contrast is very nice, as you can see. It's very legible, it's readable. With this unit you can actually do a lot of searching. Kenwood made it very easy as far as searchability goes for finding your media, finding your music on your iPhone. You can do it alphabetically, you can go by genre, song, composer, artist, playlist, the works. It's all right there. See that? They also have favorites. There's some icons laid out there for that. You have all your presets right here for your tuner, for your media player right here. The 2-zone function button is located right here. Quick mute button right here. These here are your quick source buttons. So if you got your aux in for your RCA auxiliary input, which I showed you on the Hideaway unit right there. iPod, which is playing. Tuner, which takes you to AM/FM radio tuner. Very straightforward. Very simplistic. If you're looking for something that's not too complicated, a lot of knobs, very rubbery. This radio does definitely appeal to a lot of people, and I definitely think it appeals to the older people. It's very simple. They're the kind of guys who like this. The color, black, I'm not really too crazy about. I don't see that being a very popular feature for most stereos, but I can say the same for a lot of other ones out there, Alpine, Clarion, and the list goes on and on. So I think they're all a little guilty of that. I think in a cabin this unit will look outstanding. The color is blue, of course. That's always going to be a popular feature, I think. But overall in all, Kenwood's a pretty nice unit. It's good for a middle of the road. You know, these are not very expensive. We sell the hell out of these things. The only downside I could say about these things is that if you wanted to add the wired remote control to this unit will only accept up to 2. Unlike some of the other manufacturers, such as Clarion, which of course is the biggest brand seller, always has, probably always will be as far as I can think. You know, those can go indefinite because they have Y cables, splitters. You can just go nuts with those things. And they have a much more sophisticated system as far as busing separate options into them, as well as offering a CD player in the unit, as well as a DVD player, which they have as well. Not that Kenwood doesn't, but in this style, this is what they offer. So you got to, you know, look at the good and look at the bad. You know, you take it all and make of what you think you need it to be. You know, this unit is for some people. It's not for everybody, but that's the reason why we make these reviews and we talk about the stuff. And the rest is up to you. So you got a 3-line white on black LCD display like I showed you. It is compatible with the optional wired remote. You can use up to 2 of them. You got the dual zone, which I talked about, which is cool. You got a 3-band parametric EQ with 7 preset sound curves, which means that you have to utilize their pre-programmed settings. You cannot customize it and go crazy with yourself. It does have a supreme setting for improved compressed audio playback. Speaker selecting function for matching speaker sizes. So if you have, you know, oversized like 8-inch speakers, tower speakers, whatever the case is, you got that. It does have a front and a rear high-pass filter, so that way you can limit, you know, low bass frequencies to your front and rear speakers while emphasizing the subwoofer, which it also has separate preamps for all of the above and a separate subwoofer volume control, which is a very nice feature. Something I cannot say about some other manufacturers. So you see what I'm saying? It's all back and forth, this and that. You can go on and on, you know, all day about this stuff, but I try to just point out what I think is relevant. Like every stereo pretty much out there on the water, they all say they're 50 watts by 4. Of course, this one, RMS, you're going to get 22 per channel. I would presume that anybody buys this unit most likely would be looking as far as getting an amplifier to attach to it. Your preamp outputs, like I mentioned, you got 6 channel. The preamp voltage output is 4 volts, which is excellent. The display color and the buttons are all blue. You got 3 EQ bands. It does not have a wireless remote. Does not have a wired remote. It is optional, like in almost any receiver. They have the standard 1-year warranty. Just check with your dealer before you go ahead and jump thinking that you might have a full year warranty, because they're getting crazy and cracking down on that stuff. You have the USB input, which is in the back of the face, like I showed you, next to the plug for the iPod. So that's where that's located, which is cool because you don't want to have it hidden away or by the hideaway unit wherever that thing is mounted, because that could be get ugly real fast. You don't want that. This unit has an FM sensitivity of 9.3. It does not accept European tuning, so if you're overseas in Europe, Germany, wherever over there, this is not for you. It does not have the RDS feature. Basically, you know, it consists of the iPod USB receiver with the IPX protection, which is what they're hanging their hat on, the hideaway amplifier, because they want to give you the option of a flexible installation with the light, you know, unit, which is waterproof up at the helm, wherever you're going to be mounting it. You got the fold-down face, you got the LCD. It does have a contrast feature. It's very, you know, like I said, very aggressive for the right kind of person, you know, especially an older guy, because kids can not really afford to buy boats. So this is going to definitely attract that kind of guy. I definitely think that's big for that person. I also think that the amplifier section in this radio is definitely superior to many of the other ones that I've seen and use and review, just because of the reason that it's done separately. Whenever you see something like this, that tells you that something good is going to happen. And in this one here is not a letdown in that respect. So hey, get Kenwood, the KMR 700u. I think it's really cool. I'm going to probably throw up a review on the remote control separately in another video, but I don't really think it's there's going to be enough time in this particular video, because, you know, I'm starting to get boring and like a run-on sentence. So I'm going to get out of here. But there's a review for the KMR 700u.